There's some of the defensive problems, besides all the lack of artificial turf work, they play the artificial turf work.
You know, I mean, we have UI, you know, we take ground balls over there all the time. It was definitely a different kind. Conditions were tough, but we're never going to make excuses for that. I mean, in my opinion, Jordan Thompson is one of the best shortstops in the country. Cade Doty's one of the best second basemen in the country. Trey, it's well documented that he's a good first baseman. And literally, the volume of mistakes, I've never really seen a game like that before. And so we'll go back to work and, hopefully it was an anomaly, and hopefully I'm using the right word, and, get back to Friday. Looking forward. I'm glad we're playing 4 games this weekend.
Yeah, just talk about that. Preparing your staff to play 4. Obviously, you get the guys conditioned to play 2 on Sunday at the end.
Yeah, I think, you want to play all 56. I think we're allowed to play 56, so I think playing 56 is important. I think there was a little bit of, miscommunication on the schedule with a couple of the schools and where we were at, so that's kind of how this weekend took shape. I think it's good. I think it helps the position players get in a little bit of a flow with that. And, if we have any kind of weather deal, the Southern's right here, so we can obviously pick one of those up later if we need to. So I'm looking forward to it. I think the guys at this point would rather play and compete. Our fans were great last week, and hopefully they'll come out this weekend, and I think it'll be the next good step for us.
So you set your rotation, and how will you do it with the 4 games?
Yeah, Blake is going to pitch Friday. I'm not ready to go any further than that, and frankly, that's only just because of the week and playing 3 different opponents and having the Wednesday night game and getting back at 2:30 in the morning. We want to look at both teams a little bit more clearly before we say, hey, Ty, Mikhail, Ty, and then who else is going to fit in that slot. Also, we have a lot of good options. The way the game worked out, it wasn't really how it was intended, but everybody that threw last night will be available on the weekend. So if you want to take another positive, I guess that would be one of them.
What are you expecting to see from Towson?
They played Miami at Miami last weekend, played very good on Friday, really competitive game. I just started kind of diving into their pitching a little bit. The first thing that kind of stood out is they had some guys that look like they know who they are, and they're trying to be creative in terms of how they use their pitches and those types of things. But this morning, that's about as far as I got, with their team. So they'll be excited to play here. I mean, how can you not be excited to play here?
How much have you gotten to know Chris Crenshaw and the coach in Southern?
Yeah, great guy. And really communicated with a lot in the fall. Like I said, we kind of had to. This was the one piece of the schedule we kind of had to figure out how to get it all fit in and worked out. And coach was great with that. They're an NCAA tournament team last year, and I remember seeing their conference championship game on TV and kind of won in dramatic fashion. And they'll play hard. I mean, they put up 8 or 9 runs against Missouri last night. So looking forward to those games too.
It's a great football cliche that you get most improvements from game 1 to game 2, weekend 1 to weekend 2 in baseball. Is there any similarities, or is it?
Well, I hope so. I think I've seen it come in different phases. I've seen that before for sure. I've kind of always talked about year 1 to year 2 with players. My hope is the biggest improvement comes at the next week ahead of us, and then that sustains throughout the year, and then you win enough of these games early and then you're playing your best late. That's usually the best sign for the type of season you want to have. So that'd be kind of my ideal model.
Yeah. You talked about the challenge that Tech would provide. Maybe we won't see the same type of stuff this weekend. Do you talk about that with the kids?
No, I think for us, really trying to make it about our play and the things we need to do to be successful. Like I said, I mean, we're not going to have a defensive night like that again the rest of the season. Like, that's just not going to happen. You get 3, high-level players at the top of the order aren't going to go for 14 very often or whatever it was. So again, it was a tough game. It was a bad game. It's not a game that we want to play. But I think to be in position in the 6th inning, the way that we were was a credit to the team. And then to put 6 runs up on the board when that's a good pitching staff, at least the way they lined it up last night, and to have a chance later in the game is something that I think is positive. I think we just need to keep moving forward, and I know our guys are eager to do that. They were disappointed in how they played last night.
Was Braden a guy that was on your radar previously?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he was going to play opening night in the first pinch hit opportunity, and it just happened to be in the second inning. And glad to see him kind of take that and run with that. Gibson, their lefty, was obviously tough last night. He had a homer off him, so he's handling both sides, pitching, really well. I like his at bats better right now than I have at any point in fall or spring. And not to say he wasn't doing a good job, because he was, but I think we've had some improvement here, and he's well positioned to keep making a good contribution.
I mean, in any of your previous spots, was he a guy that you saw?
Oh, I apologize. No, I think as the story goes, he was at Nichols and then went to Delgado, and en route to Delgado, he was already coming to LSU.
So you just happy accident that you ran into?
Yeah, and a matter of fact, when I took the job and looking at the recruits and getting on the horn with them all the very first day that I took over, really good energy about him, connected with him very well. We got on the phone as he was out playing summer ball, and we made a couple, small suggestions that he took in, and he said he had success with right away. And then, really wants to be good. I think there was maybe some self-implied pressure on himself, to really perform at a high level and want to be a key guy. And then kind of busted through that the last week or 10 days leading up to the season, and has certainly carried over. So the upside for him is big. Like if he's his best player, he belongs, right up there in that category with our better contributors.
What's the message to Blake Money? Just do what you did last week?
Yeah, I think, he's got plenty of ability. I've been really impressed with the preparation thing, as I've said, and we've talked about it. He had to have that to get to the spot that he's at physically. And then, because of that, I trust his ability to get ready for his outing. I mean, to say it's 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 10 strikeouts every time out is unrealistic. But I think we'll be in games when he pitches, and we can win games because of how he pitches, and I expect him to be ready to go.
McManus came in for Milazzo last night. Have you given any thought to whether or not he will start this Friday, and have you been pleased with what you've seen out of him?
Yeah, I'm pleased with both of those guys. I think I don't look at it as there's a starter. I look at it as, we have 9 innings to get through. And that's one of the positions where there could be some interchanging parts based on how the game goes. And, last night we were behind and got a really good at bat out of Tyler to move the offense and get a run in. It would have been great if we could have capitalized and got the second run in right there to make it 5-4 a little quicker. And then he took another good at bat, hit a ball hard to shortstop. And so they're both going to play. I think it just depends on setting up the game. I mean, both of them are going to start games. So I think you'll see more games where both of them play than when one or the other just plays.
Drew's recovered pretty well. I think he played on Sunday last weekend. Could we expect to see a little bit more of him this weekend?
I'd like to. A little bit of a setback from playing, and that's just a tough thing with the hamstrings. And so he did not travel with us because we wanted him to get some full-scale treatment, knowing that we had 4 games to hopefully have him available. And we definitely like his contribution on the defensive side of the ball. And then I like his competitive nature, and there's a place for that. So my hope is he'll get closer to full strength this weekend.
What have you seen from Brody Joss? He had a pretty good season last year at the plate. He played at the end of last weekend, but didn't really have that good of a bat. So what have you seen from him?
Yeah, he has an injury too. He has a back thing, so he's kind of limited in what he's doing right now. He did not travel either, so I haven't seen him today just yet in terms of his treatment and how he recovered. But he's got a lot of talent, as you said, had a couple nice moments for them last year, and just would like him to be, if he's consistently playing his capability, that's a really good player.
You kind of make it the outfield right now. Obviously, you're rotating Gio in certain situations. Just what do you like about that?
Well, I like the offense out of all of them. That's clear. I think we're working through some position changes with guys, and working to kind of find that right combination, left-handed, right-handed balance. It's a new one for me. I like having left-handed hitters. You know, you're not going to ever complain about, you know, Dylan Cruz or Gavin Dugas when they're going good, you know, obviously. So I think it's just kind of finding that right mixture of at-bats for everybody. And I want to play guys. I mean, like, you have a guy like Braden, you want to play him. You have a guy like Jacob, you want to play him. You have a guy like Dylan, he's obviously going to play all the time. Gavin's going to play a lot. So I think we're fortunate in that regard to have the riches that we do, and I think it's just like the catching position. I think you're going to see more guys contribute than just 3 guys roll out there all the time.
Are you eager to get to practice today, or do you try to keep it like a Thursday?
Well, I think it's a little bit of a unique deal. When this game was scheduled, I mean, the first ones I didn't know it took 3 hours and 45 minutes to drive to the top of Louisiana from here. So we got back late, so we just gave them a little time. They all had to go to class this morning, so we're starting a little bit later today. We have some things that we want to get done. I think for me, I'd always rather be efficient and functional and maybe a little bit tired. I mean, once the season starts, I don't want to be fresh but sloppy. And we were a little sloppy yesterday, so I think we need to get back out there. And for me, part of moving on is just kind of getting to the next day. So mentally and physically, we'll try to get the things done that we need to and be good to go.
Is it a quiet bus? You look at tape. What are you doing?
Yeah, they all went to sleep for the most part. Coach Fitzgerald and I just kind of sat on the bus and talked through some things we wanted to do individually with guys, and kind of looked towards the weekend and scouted, and then so it was as you'd expect.